So we're gonna go ahead and start on our notes today. Let me just fix this camera real fast. So have your notebooks out. You should already have done your attendance quiz. In your notebooks, you wanna go ahead and set up your table of contents. All right, so looks just like this. And it's exactly what is up here on the board. Make sure you have your date, page number, title, and then go ahead and put in everything here talking about what we're doing for today. You're gonna notice in the video, I'm just kind of trying to go through stuff. In order to take your time on this, make sure you pause the video. That way, this is not feeling rushed to you, all right? Next thing you want to do is go to the next page of your notebook. Don't go to the back of your table of contents, go to the following page. And on that following page, that's where you're going to take your notes. Title it Solving Equations, page number is page 1. All right, so we're going to solve for x here. When I'm solving for x, I'm trying to get x all by itself. My suggestion to you right now is to try and work this out on your own before I do it, so pause the video to do that. What I would suggest to do here, when I'm doing it, is I'm going to go ahead and start with my x's. So I got 3x on one side, 2x on the other. I'm going to subtract 2x. So I'm doing the opposite of what I have. I want x's all on one side. So I got 3x minus 2x. That gives me 1x. Minus 6 equals 8. These two x's cancel. Now what I need to do, I have my variables on one side, my constants on the other. That's something you want to make a note of, guys. When I'm talking constants, I'm talking about numbers here. When I'm talking variables, I'm talking about x. So now, my next step, I have my variables all on one side. I need to get my constants all on the other. So let's add 6 to the other side. Because what I do to one side, I must do to the other. I still have 1x. My 6's cancel. Equals 8 plus 6, which is 14. Once I get to this point, 1x equals 14, I'm going to divide by 1 to give me x equals 14. And that right there is my final answer. Once I finish an example, guys, you need to pause the video to make sure that you write down everything that I did. Make sure you fully process everything that I'm doing, then continue on to the next problem. All right, my next problem, I had 2 plus x plus 5 plus x equals 3 plus x plus 9. That's a lot, which means I'm going to need to combine like terms. The way I know I need to combine like terms is that I have constants on the same side that can be combined. 2 plus 5 gives me 7. I have x plus x, which gives me 2x. And then on the right-hand side, I have 3 and a 9, two constants, add up to give me 12 plus x. Now my next step, just like what we did on the last example, start moving things from one side to the other to get variables on one side, constants on the other. I'm going to go ahead and move x over to the other side. I still have 7. 2x minus x is 1x. I still have 12, but those x's cancel. Next, I need to go ahead and figure out what I want to move. Well, I got variables on the left-hand side, so I need to move my constants over to the other. My 7's cancel. I still have 1x. 12 minus 7 is going to give me 5. At this point, what I would do is divide by 1. Now, some of you might be like, well, Miss Bernard, isn't that the final answer? Because if I divide by 1, I'm still going to get 5. Technically, yes. You could stop right here and say 5 is your final answer. However, sometimes you're going to have a number here that you're going to need to divide by. So it's important for you to go ahead and get yourself into that habit of dividing now. So what I'm going to do is divide by 1. And that gives me x equals 5. And I will scroll back up here. That way you guys can see the entire thing. All right. Let's continue on to the next example. Again, I know this is a little fast paced, but just can go ahead and pause the video whenever you need to, okay? All right, so this example right here, I want you to try this one on your own before I even do it, okay? While you do that, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to work it out. And then after I'm done, I'll resume the video and you'll see all the steps. All right, guys, so as you see, I went ahead and solved this out. Here is all the steps, and I got x equals negative 10 over 7 to be my final answer. On to the next example. You notice we got parentheses here. When I see these parentheses, that tells me what we have going on here is something called distribution. Okay, this is our distributive property. What this means, and hopefully you guys actually already know this from junior high, is that whatever is right here, I'm going to distribute to everything inside the parentheses and only inside the parentheses. And I'm going to multiply what's right here on the outside with the two things on the inside. So I'm going to do 3 times x, which is 3x. I'm going to do 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6. And that's it. That's all I'm distributing. Everything else stays the same because it's not inside the parentheses. I still have equals 1x plus 8. All right, now I continue on working out the rest of this problem. Subtract 1x. 3 minus 1x is 2x. And guys, as you see, this is just one way I could do this. Remember, there are multiple different ways to solve these problems. Back up top here, I could have added 6 over to this 8. I could have subtracted 3 over to this 1. I could have subtracted 8 from this 6. Any of those ways, I still would have gotten the same answer that I'm going to get here shortly, which is x equals 7. All right, moving on to this next example, we had distributing on one side. Now we're doing distributing on both. It's not any different than what we just did, except for I have to distribute on both sides. So let's distribute this 2 to everything on the left side. Let's distribute this 3 to everything on the right. I'm going to do 2 times x, which gives me 2x. I'm going to do 2 times negative 4, which gives me negative 8, equals 3 times 2, which gives me 6, 3 times negative x, which gives me negative 3x. All right? At this point, I can go wherever I want to. I like to go ahead and start with my x's. I can either subtract the 2x or add the 3x. If I add the 3x, like I'm going to do, that helps me get rid of that negative there. So that way I'm now in the positives. If that's possible, that's always what I want to try and do. So now that I got my variables on the left, let's go ahead and move our constants to the right. I get 5x equals 14. I I have to divide again to get that x alone. And I get x equals 14 over 5. You'll notice not every time do I get a pretty answer. All right, sometimes it's going to be fractions. Some of you might be thinking, well, Miss Menard, do I go ahead and continue on to another step? The answer is no, guys, don't continue. Just leave it as a fraction. Don't need to change it to a decimal if that's what you were thinking of doing. All right, you only need to do that when you're asked to. All right? All right, that's it for notes for today. This is how the notes are going to go every time when I do it. I'm just gonna, on these recordings, just kind of move kind of fast-paced through them. Make sure you guys pause the video so that way you're fully getting the example and fully understanding it, okay? What I need you guys to do now is go back into your modules. At the very end, there's a check for understanding quiz. It's just a one-question quiz, guys. I'm just asking you one question. Solve for X on that problem that you get, and whatever your answer is, click on it and submit. And then you are done for today. I will see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.